project which is looking at cycling data. Today, there's very little data about how people cycle around the city. We use very old-fashioned techniques to find out how cyclists behave in traffic and to find out how many cyclists have passed particular points, like sending out students to stand on street corners and count the number of cyclists that go past at a particular point. And the idea of this project is looking at new techniques enabled by IoT that allow us to collect better data on cyclists. And this includes data on how cyclists move through a city with GPS in smartphones, but also data on where cyclists are feeling a bit insecure in the traffic safety, so we can identify hotspots in the city. And this we do by putting a little button on the handlebars of the bicycles, which they press when they're feeling a little bit insecure in cycle traffic. Now this provides a really good way to understand how cyclists are moving through the city with the GPS data. This kind of data is very useful because what cycle planners can then do is think, well, where should we be putting our priorities in maintaining the cycle track, or where do we need to build new cycle tracks? And they can base this on data rather than just guessing, which is done today. This kind of data is very useful for identifying where you can have priorities that maybe you need to look over the situation for cyclists. Cycle planners can go out and look at the spots where people have been pressing their button. And for example, if they need to cut the hedge because there's no visibility for cyclists, or they need to change the traffic light signals or something, then they can look into this based on this data that is collected. The TravelView app, the user downloads this app on their phone, and it tracks how they travel through the day and when they stop for activities. And so in this app you get details of cycle trips, and also when they stop and what activities they do, but also other activities and other trips. So you understand cycling, you understand who's cycling, why they're cycling, when they're cycling, where they're cycling. So you really get a good understanding of the cyclist behaviour in the city. So the idea here is that we want to get 500 cyclists to donate their data, and this gives us a really good idea of how the cyclists are moving in the city and insecure hotspots in the city. This project is a sub-project which looks at cycling data of a larger project called Smart Public Environments. Smart Public Environments is a project that is co-financed by Vinnova, which is the Swedish innovation agency. Our part on cycling data is looking at cycling data, but there are other sub-projects looking at sensors for watering in public environments, or for garbage trucks for when they need to be emptied. In this cycling sub-project, there are many partners. It's led by Trivector. There's also a future by Lund, the city of Lund and the city of Malmö, Hovding, Malmö University, Mobile Heights and MyThings, who are involved in this.